Hello, everyone. It's great to catch up with you all through this devotion. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. In life, we all go through storms. We all go through difficult times and situations in our life. Being a Christian does not make one immune from these storms and these difficult times. We all have to go through these storms. But it's important that we learn how we need to react when these storms come. How or what we need to do when these storm comes. How do we respond to these storms? Sometimes these storms comes in different areas of our life. It could be in physical health. Sometimes it could be spiritual, emotional, or even financial. It doesn't matter what way these storms come across. It's very important that we learn how to respond to these storms. Today I would like to take you to a passage that's found in the book of Luke chapter 8 about Jesus and his disciples. And I believe this passage has got some insights about how we can respond to these storms. In Luke chapter 8, we read about Jesus and his disciples. Jesus says to his disciples, let's go to the other side of the shore. So they got into this boat and they are on their way to the other shore. Jesus was tired after a long day of ministry, so he fell asleep. And as he fell asleep, we can read there was a great storm that came across, and the boat was being swamped. They were in great danger. The disciples panicked. They were afraid of what's going to happen. So they go to Jesus and say to him, Master, we are going to drown. Jesus wakes up and he looks and he commands the sea to be still and everything becomes calm. But he asks this important question to his disciples, where is your faith? The disciples spoke among themselves and asked, who is this that even the winds and the sea, they obey him? And they were amazed about everything that had happened. I believe this passage gives us a bit of an insight of how we can respond during the storms that comes across in our life. The first thing that we see here is the disciples were filled with panic. They panicked. They were afraid of what's going to happen. But Jesus asked, where is your faith? Now, faith is an active thing. Faith is deliberate. It's not passive. Jesus was expecting that the disciples will show their faith when a crisis comes. He was looking for that faith. Similarly, today, when we go through our life and when storms come in our life, it's important we show or we display our faith. We actually exercise our faith. Faith, as I said, it's not passive. It's a deliberate thing. Sometimes we think that faith will come automatically when we go through these problems. It does not. As the disciples, you can see, they cried to the master and said, Master, we are going to drown. They feared for the worst. But Jesus expected them to have faith in God. Today, it's very important that we have faith in God as we go through the storms of life. As I said, it's not an automatic thing. We just got our boiler recently. And in our boiler, we have this setting, in the thermostat, we have a setting where you can set it for an automatic mode, where when the temperature drops below a particular temperature, the heating automatically kicks in. So we sometimes expect that the faith will automatically kick in when we go through some problems. Unfortunately, it does not. The only thing is we try to start thinking about the worst outcomes and things like that. But it's very important today that we have faith in God when we go through the storms. The second thing is that the disciples knew Jesus was there with them. They have been with Jesus. They have seen the miracles that Jesus has done. Jesus has fed 5,000 people, 4,000 people. Jesus has done so many miracles. They have witnessed all these miracles. Yet, even though they knew about Jesus and they knew that Jesus was there in their boat, they failed to recognize who they are with during the storm. It's possible that we also, when we go through the storms, we sometimes fail to understand who is with us. Jesus is with us as we pass through these storms. The God who is the creator God, who is omnipotent, is there with us as we go through the storms. So as he is there with us, it needs to give us the confidence. We can put our faith in him that he will help us to come out of the other side of the storm. Thirdly, we need to know about the love he has for us. It doesn't mention in Luke chapter 8, however, the same incident is recorded in Mark chapter 5. And there, when the disciples asked Jesus, they said, Master, Master, don't you care that we are going to drown? Of course, probably the disciples didn't know that day how much Jesus loved them. But today we know that Jesus gave his life for us on the cross. He loves us so much. So his love is always there. His love is steadfast. Even though you are going through that storm in your life, you need to know that God is there with you and his love will always come for you. God will come through for you in your storms. It's very important that we understand these three things, that during a storm, that our faith needs to be deliberate. It's an action that we need to take, that we need to realize who Jesus is as we go through the storm, and we need to know his love as we go through these storms. Hopefully this has been a blessing for you, and God bless you.